Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic, and here are today's headlines. Thunderstorm risk to the east, active weather weekend, and a temperature tantrum. I'll explain all those details in just a few moments, but first, let's start off with where we are sitting temperature-wise today. Look at the west. It is so hot in through Vancouver, potential 30 degrees, feeling like 33 when you factor in just a touch of humidity. Across the prairie, such a contrast. Calgary only getting up to 16, and to the east, it's hot, it's muggy throughout the lower Great Lakes, and in through Atlantic Canada, we're also starting to feel that heat. Speaking of heat, we have two isolated thunderstorms today. We've got this upper trough that's digging in through parts of Alberta, and we could see some cells developing through parts of Manitoba and into northwestern Ontario. Now we'll take a look at the future radar where we can see the potential for some isolated storms throughout southern Manitoba, but the bulk of the moisture and the risk of storms is going to be moving in through northwestern Ontario. We'll take a look at what's happening to the east in a moment, but first, here's Ross with a look at your top videos. Thanks so much, Ross. Here's a look at the weather to the east. We could see some isolated thunderstorms, and the big story is going to be the temperature trend and how temperatures are going to be dropping by the beginning of next week. So with that, how do you feel about temperatures beginning to fall? A lot of people feel happy. It's been hot, really hot. Okay, lots of events happening throughout Kingston, Ontario. Here's Chris St. Clair with more. Thanks so much, Chris. A lot of people looking forward to that. Okay, coming up next, your local forecast details. We'll talk about Louisiana and the flood there. And of course, in 6 minutes, we'll take a look at your pictures in your summer bucket list. Risk to see a few isolated storms again today throughout parts of Manitoba, as well as through parts of Alberta because of that upper trough and that area of high pressure just causing a lot of instability. And the same story for parts of northwestern Ontario, and you can actually make it out on the future radar. You can start to see the cells firing up later on this afternoon and in through this evening. We do have the risk to see a few isolated thunderstorms throughout parts of Atlantic Canada throughout the day today and through Nova Scotia, through Cape Breton, and just south of the Great Lakes. So we may see some stuff firing up. Okay, it is time now to take a look at Share Your Weather, where we get to see lots of amazing stuff from you. We just love it. Everybody sends in such wonderful images. And Summer Bucket List Challenge. Have you been taking part in this? It's so awesome. Just go to our website. We've got the list of everything we want to see you do. And then hashtag your photo, Summer Bucket List. We wanted you to visit an amusement park, and you know what? So many people have, and they've sent in some really beautiful shots. Take a look at this one from Sterling, Ontario, through Nova Scotia. Oh, the zipper makes me feel nauseous just looking at it. Okay, the latest one, we want you to go for a paddle. Take a picture of yourself canoeing with your family, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, Olympics have certainly been on top of everyone's radar and television. And temperatures, we'll just take a quick look at where some of the events are happening today. It is hot. It is sticky. We're actually comparable to Rio for the most part in through the lower Great Lakes, 29 degrees. Big weekend in Kingston, Ontario. Here's Chris St. Clair with more. All right, thank you so much, Chris St. Clair. That's right, your local forecast is coming up in 3 minutes. Great video in Force of Nature. And don't go anywhere because in 10 minutes, we'll take a look at the weekend and beyond in your Long Ranger. Hi there, I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. Taking a look now at your top weather events. We've got the heat in the west, the risk to see some stormy weather across the eastern prairies and through parts of southern Ontario and in through the maritime provinces. Taking a look at some of the weather events, focusing in on what's happening to the east. We've got this trough in place that is going to be bringing enough instability to cause some non-severe thunderstorms. And down towards the south, just touching into the lower Great Lakes, we could see that risk as well. Okay, take a look at this video. Now that trough is really pushed out and moved in through northwestern Ontario, so we do have the potential to see some severe cells firing up. The biggest threat is going to be some hail, strong winds, and heavy downpours. And we do have that risk again throughout parts of Alberta today, and this is due to that trough that's sinking in place, and we are going to be seeing a high pressure in the. It is going to be so hot through parts of British Columbia. We are really feeling the heat. In through the interior, temperatures have the potential to get up to the mid-30s. Now, speaking of the heat in BC, let's check in with Chrissy Van. All right, well, this weekend is going to be a hot one. We've got that heat moving through, and what's happening is that we actually have this area of high pressure through Alberta. It is bringing in that clockwise flow. Once that air hits the Rockies and travels over top, inland areas are so dry, so it's literally picking up all of that heat and pushing it towards the coast. That is why we are seeing these types of temperatures. Look at Chilliwack for Sunday, 27 degrees, but look at Saturday, 34. I know, you thought 27 was hot. Saturday, 29 in Vancouver, and we could potentially see 27 degrees through Victoria. Those temperatures are going to continue to be warm, but then they will cool down, and we're also going to see a cool down to the east. Saturday, temperatures are going to be warm and muggy throughout much of southern Ontario, southern Quebec, and into Atlantic Canada. And then as we get into early next week, temperatures take a dip. That big trough in the jet stream, well, it is going to come our way, and we're going to be seeing cooling temperatures. I know you're thinking, well, 25 in Toronto, that's really not cool, or 23 in Ottawa, that's actually seasonal. It's just much cooler than we have been as of late. You know, we've been feeling humidex is around 40. Okay, coming up, your local forecast details around the world and your top videos of the day. I'm Emily Vukovic. Your Weather Watch continues, and here are today's headlines. Thunderstorm risk for today. We'll show you when and where. Active weather for the weekend through much of the lower Great Lakes, and a temperature tantrum. That's right. We have been talking about heat in the west. Take a look at these values. Vancouver this afternoon feeling more like 33 with a core temperature of 30. Really hot on the island as well. We're looking at temperatures in through the interior getting up into the high 20s, low 30s, and over the weekend it is going to be so sticky. Look at Abbotsford, 35 for today. Yeah, you think that's hot? It could get warmer for Saturday. It's just incredible. We do have the risk to see a few isolated thunderstorms today through parts of Alberta and in through parts of northern Manitoba and in through northwestern Ontario. Biggest threats being strong wind gusts, and the potential is there for some decent sized hail. Just that instability from that high and the upper trough, and we are seeing enough instability from a trough moving through parts of northwestern Ontario. To the east, we also have that thunderstorm risk anywhere from parts of southern Quebec in through Atlantic Canada, New Brunswick, and in through parts of Nova Scotia. Okay, want to see a really cool video? Take a look at this shelf cloud. Isn't that stunning? Okay, another one of our big stories is the cooling temperatures in the east. That brings us to the poll question. How do you feel about it? A lot of people are happy that temperatures are starting to fall. I'm not one of those people. But anyways, I digress. Coming up next, your local forecast, great video and force of nature, and the next one to watch. Your Weather Watch continues. I'm Emily Vukovic, and we've got some active weather happening across Canada, and we'll get to those details in just a moment. But first, I want you to see this musty video. All right, we're going to keep you letting in Louisiana, but first, let's talk about the heat that's happening in British Columbia. I mean, it is potentially record-breaking for the lower mainland. Temperatures not only getting up into the high 20s, but we're looking at the low 30s in some cases. Vancouver getting up to 29 for Saturday, but then cooling down significantly for Sunday. Look at Chilliwack, 34 degrees come Saturday. It is going to be really hot. In contrast, we've got heat to the east just for the weekend, but then this trough wants to swing its way east, and it is going to cool us down fairly significantly for Monday. Now, it's certainly not going to be cold by any stretch. We're seeing temperatures anywhere between kind of 23 and 25 degrees, which is seasonal for us. So, I mean, we've been dealing with a really hot, oppressive summer, but it's really just, you know, where we should be for this time of year. Okay, make sure you stay with us, because coming up, we've got your local forecast details. That's next. And people loving rain and the long range. Hi there, I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. Today's Weather Watch includes top weather events. We have been seeing some active weather right across the prairie provinces, and we've got some stormy conditions moving in through the east. Now, the risk map, I know it doesn't look incredibly impressive. You're thinking, well, a lot of that's down towards the United States. Yes, but in through the Niagara region, we could see some isolated thunderstorms, and to the west as well. Here's a look at Manitoba. Thick fog is right next to the Trans-Canada Highway. Now, the risk to the west, we're looking at that chance of isolated non-severe thunderstorms in through parts of southern Alberta, and same deal through parts of northwestern Ontario. Now, in through Vancouver, The heat is on. That is a huge story right now. A bureau reporter, and she lives in a condo. She's calling it her little hot box. It's crazy because they don't have a lot of air conditioning there. So the heat is on. Temperatures are impressive. Prince George 25, Victoria 28, feeling like 30. Really, really warm to the west. How long will these warm temperatures stick around? I'll have the answer right now in your Long Ranger. All right, well, through Ontario, let's get there first, where we do have temperatures cooling down. We are going to be seeing a trough in the jet stream, and by early next week, it's going to be cool compared to what we've seen. But before we get there, we've got warm air pushing in from the south. We've got a lot of heat. We've got a lot of humidity. That is going to increase our thunderstorm risk. Temperatures, yeah, they're going to be cooling down below our seasonal averages. We're looking at low 20s. Seasonal average is about 25. So 23, we're not going to be too far off the mark, right? Right. Let's hope so. Okay, Ottawa 31 for Saturday, Toronto 31 as well, and in through the Maritime provinces, temperatures into low 20s. Now for Sunday, we do have a system that's going to be moving through. That's going to be giving us not only the risk for some isolated thunderstorms, but some steady rainfall, which we desperately need. We've been dealing with this drought situation. The grass is starting to come back throughout much of Ontario, but it's just not quite there yet. Atlantic Canada also going to be seeing that rain moving in through on Monday, but look at the temperatures. They're staying quite steady. Halifax at 24, Charlottetown 25, and up through St. John's, Newfoundland, seeing daytime highs around 23 degrees. So yeah, we're talking about it getting really cool, but I mean, it's been so oppressively hot that this cool down, I think, is much needed and much welcomed from many people. Coming up, your local forecast details. Don't go anywhere because in 3 minutes, we've got Around the World and then your top videos of the day.